friends, thanks for tuning in. This video is kind of piggybacking off of an idea that I talked about in my beauty chat video very recently. We were talking about highlights and the fact that highlights are just coming out like left and right and really have been for some time. And now I will fully own the fact that I have tons of makeup. I am drawn to a lot of makeup, even outside of what I feel are sort of my obligations for my channel, you know, to try a lot of makeup, review a lot of makeup. Even just as a regular person, I feel like I am drawn to want to try the latest and greatest stuff, right? But I must admit, I think highlights are one of those areas where I kind of have some limits. I'm reaching a limit of excitement here where I feel like I've tried a lot. How many do I honestly need? So much of what I have is really good. And this is a video I might try to do in different makeup categories, but I wanted to name off 5 of the best highlights that you might already have in your collection. So maybe before you start dropping money on what's new, you might go back in what you have and discover some really great things. So this might prompt some of that shopping your stash type deal, rediscovered products. I love that concept so much. And so in the comments section, if you have any of these that I am mentioning, definitely let me know. Let me know if you've forgotten about them or are they still like going hard in your collection and you're wearing them every day. I'd love to know. But here's one that is totally rediscovered for me. I hadn't used it in a long time, but I've always thought of it as like upper level highlight, you know, and it's the Balm's Mary Luminizer. This one's so good. I mean, it's the ultimate shimmery, pearly highlight. I'm wearing that on my cheeks today. It's super glowy. It's sort of a look no further highlight product. I mean, I'm not sure when I try this, I think what goes beyond this, what really like highlights and gives off a glow better than this. I'm not really sure. But when I say that, I'm talking for the people who really want maximum glow. I'm wearing this in like a sheer way. You could build this up, I think, even more and have a more pronounced look. And that's not for everyone, but for the person who likes just borderline dewy sheen on the cheeks, yet it's created by powder, I think this is a great product. And it really had its attention-getting moments, I think, before a lot of these other highlighters came out. And it's still fantastic. Okay, show of hands, how many people have a Physicians Formula Shimmer Strip highlighter bronzer palette sitting in their drawer? This stuff, I love this. This is great for versatility. This is the one in Vegas Strip that I'm holding here. I think at one time they had a whole lot more shades than are currently available, but I know Vegas Strip is one that they still sell. And you just got this awesome like gradient effect here with the shades. And this can be a nice product to use as eyeshadow because especially if you look from like this end compared to that end, if you just, you know, split it up that way, you really can create some contrast with this. But the shimmer is really beautiful. And I pointed this out quite a while back, but your top 2 shades here of this palette, when you blend those together, you get a very similar effect to what you get from BECCA's Champagne Pop powder highlight. But much like with Mary Luminizer, this is a nice powder for being highly shimmery, but you're not getting clumps of glitter. You're not going to see like a chunkiness or an odd texture thing happening across your skin as you apply. It's just a really pretty sheen. And I would say Vegas Strip, the way it's different from Mary Luminizer, this is very pearly and kind of neutral. This definitely takes on a little bit more of a golden glow. And then if you go a little bit more toward this end, it can be a little bit deeper glow, almost a hint of coppery like rose gold in there. So this could also be a nice highlight for a variety of skin tones, because if you want to focus more toward this end, that would be nice for lighter skin, but then deeper tan rich skin tones I think would look gorgeous with this type of tone. Another pretty classic product in the highlighting world I think are the BECCA Shimmering Skin Perfectors, and the liquid has always been a really standout favorite for me. I like the powders too, but the liquid is really, I think, something different and special, and this is what the full size looks like. And right now I'm kind of working with this little like sample tube that I got, and this is with the Opal, and I think this Opal color really is something special. It's like there's a little bit of peachy beige kind of floating through this shade color-wise, and I think when you put it just on top of skin. It makes so much sense. It gives so much glow, but I've always said this about this product. You could never like put a finger on exactly where it's coming from. If you apply that in a nice sheer way, it just looks so incredibly natural. It's so sneaky. It just adds the prettiest hint of dewiness really to the skin. And that's a really versatile product too, because you could blend it in with other things, blend it in with a foundation, blend it with a moisturizer to add a little more radiance there, but it's never over the top. And I love that about this product. And again, I feel like it's been around long enough to where chances are a lot of people probably own that, but have you been using it much lately? I'd love to know. And then a product that's very similar in consistency to that, and I think can kind of be a dupe, so to speak, of the Pearl shade in the BECCA Shimmering Skin Perfector, is the e.l.f. Shimmering Facial Whip. This stuff has been around since the very beginning of e.l.f. I remember getting it like right when e.l.f. first came out in the early days of my channel, like the first days of my channel. And this is one of the only products that I know of in e.l.f.'s line that's still being sold for $1. And the shade in Spotlight, I think, is one of the best. They also have a peachy one. There's one called Lilac Petal, but Spotlight is really great and is going to be a much loved shade for those of you out there with fair skin who feel like a lot of highlights just don't really bounce off of your skin very much. This is very brightening. The color might even be a bit more concentrated than the Shimmering Skin Perfectors are, but once you blend it out, I mean, look at that shine that you're getting right here. I talk about not liking chunks of glitter in highlight because I think it makes it look instantly like artificial and fake, and this doesn't have any of that either. It's just a really brightening glow. The way I like to apply something like this is I sort of blend it out just a little bit on the skin, and then an e.l.f. small stipple brush, yes, you know the drill, and then you can kind of dab this right on top of your cheekbones. I already had highlight on, so this was not necessary, but I just kind of wanted to show how I would go about using it. Another thing I like about this, and I like this quality in the BECCA product as well, is that they don't stay like super tacky on the skin. I mean, you are using a liquid, so if you use enough of it, you know, you will feel it there, but if you just keep it nice and light and apply it with a brush like this that sort of shears it out, you're going to have just a really nice texture on top of the skin that's going to mesh exactly with whatever you had underneath. And then a little something for my anti-highlighter crowd out there. This is something that I've sung the praises of for the longest time, and this is my Laura Geller Baked French Vanilla Highlight. So this is the type of highlight that is going to give the most subtle glow to your skin. Like, it's just going to have a teeny bit of pearl to it, but mainly I see it as kind of a brightening type of shade. I will most definitely link below to the devoted review that I did on this product, but it's very special. It's a really nice textured powder. It doesn't take much when you put your brush in it, or you can see I just swirled my finger in it. You're getting just the slightest bit of glow off of this product. As I turn my finger, just a little bit of glow, not that you'd even wear it that full out, but I'm just trying to demonstrate what the texture is like. It's very smooth, it's very rich, and if you don't have this in like the freestanding highlight, you might check your collection in a couple of other places where this shade is included. Laura Geller has a round compact, half of it is bronze and brighten, and then you've got the French Vanilla and a blush. It's in that one, and also more recently I talked about the palette with the 3 little shades. One is an eyeshadow duo, one is French Vanilla, and then a blush. So this has been tucked into several recent Laura Geller products if you're interested. And real quickly, I mentioned the e.l.f. Small Stipple Brush. Great affordable brush to use with your liquid and cream highlights, cream blushes as well, so I would really recommend that. And then another brush that I've been using a lot lately is from Royal and Langnickel, the Moda line. I picked this up at Walmart and it came with another brush, but this particular brush is called Highlight and Glow, and I think this is just spectacular for powder highlights. As you can see, in comparison to my cheekbone, you know, it's going to give you kind of a pinpointed highlight there. If you want a little bit more diffused application of powder highlights, you might look to the e.l.f. Small Tapered Brush, and that's definitely something to keep in mind, the way you apply these products, particularly the Mary Luminizer and the Physicians Formula one that I mentioned toward the start. Those products have have a whole range. So just because you've seen people swatch them out and they look just like the most intense highlight ever, there's a range. It can go to that really strong place, or you can keep it very light just by dabbing the brush in, tapping off the excess, and just working your way up a little bit. So anyway, that's it. I've said my piece. I just wanted to talk about some of these highlights that maybe aren't getting quite as much buzz lately, but are still every bit as good as what's hitting the shelves over and over again from brands that might make you believe they're putting out the latest and greatest. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you'd like to see this type of video in relation to other products, and I will see you next time. Bye!